Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we're gonna continue with this painting that was started last time. Today I'm gonna be focusing on details and finishing touches, and the painting will be finished. The one thing I'm noticing is still bothering quite a bit. It's the nose. Seems like I completely abandoned it last time. Try to fix that today. Hopefully. Maybe. It looks a little bit like I hit a wall. Get its nose squished. So dark today, I can barely see the colors. I'm basically just guessing at this point. I was looking at this part here. I was thinking to make it more blue, but today I think that's actually more green than blue. Maybe with a tint of blue on top. It's very different from the color of the nose. I think that's the initial color I laid. For the base, I think that's the actual color it's supposed to be. Let's see if I can integrate it. This looks really bad. I think time to straighten it. Like that. Much better. On before I make it even worse. The paints that have low pigment can be good sometimes, especially for me since I'm lazy. The areas where I know I need a light color, the color itself is fine, but the tone is not right, then I could just layer white on top of it. Like the paint is so transparent, low pigment, that I can see the color shine through from underneath. So that's kind of helpful, not gonna lie. Though at this point I'm just using acrylics almost like watercolor paint. It's alright, I don't care. I'm gonna use it however it works for me. I'm really really battling the urge to go into much detail here. Basically what I did here, I just put just pure white, a layer. And you can see how much of the underneath color shines through. In some areas I actually need pure white, like underneath the lip here. But in that case I can just layer white on top of each other and it will saturate it more. I would hope so, at least. It is a struggle. It's easy to do dark colors in acrylics, but it is very hard to do highlights, especially with these paints. I don't have experience with good paints or acrylics. That's why I'm kind of careful what I say, because my experience is very limited. But from my limited experience, this is what I experienced. It is very hard to do highlights with these paints. It's almost like I need to actually do very thick paint to be able to achieve like white areas. I'm a bit worried doing that, putting really thick paint layers in some places, because once those dry they get very sharp, and I use my sketchbook a lot and I don't want that sharp paint rubbing against that drawing there and damaging it, because that happened to me before with oil paints, so I assume it's the same situation here. I wouldn't want that to happen. The only fix in that case is sand it down, but then it removes some of the color and it looks weird. The only time I sand the paintings is in between layers, not as a final product. There's a lot of green on the neck part of the fur. I do prefer blue. I tried to mark some of the green here, I can see, but I do prefer this color here. And honestly, I don't really want to mess too much with that area. Just want to leave it as simple as possible. I can still tell that this nose is either too short or something is different from the reference, and I'm not sure what exactly it is. But I don't think it matters really. I don't want it to be exact anyways. Let's just keep going and see where this leads. So I've decided to leave the eye as it is. I just do some fixing because the inside of the eye still is unfinished. But I'll leave it as is. I'm not gonna change the size of it. So the camera ran out of battery, so I have to charge it. It took some time, but now I'm back and we can continue. The paint dried out, so I had to clean the palette. It is very difficult to work with cheap acrylics, in the sense that putting light colors is very difficult. I assume it's because of the kind of acrylics I use. It's clear to me that the amount of pigment in each tube is very low and the colors are very transparent. So if I use even a little bit of water with each color, it fades completely when it dries. So even putting pure white just to get those highlights, it turns into grey after it's dry, unless I put a very thick layer of the paint. It's good in some scenarios. If I want to do like a soft glaze over top of another color, that works very well. But if I need any solid colors, it just doesn't do it. Like I said, I'm used to painting with oil paints, and each color I put is very opaque and it's very harsh sometimes. Actually, the glazing becomes a bit more difficult because of how opaque and how high pigmented the colors are. Here it's basically the opposite, and it's fine to do any just sketching or small paintings, but for long term I would recommend to buy more expensive, at least student grade. I would assume those are very good acrylic paints. I will still continue using these. I'm gonna fill the sketchbook with some more paintings using these acrylics just to use them up, to be honest. Like I said, I don't really like wasting any of the art supplies, so I'm gonna keep having them until I use them up. And then once these are done, I'm gonna buy new ones, and then in that case I will invest in more expensive ones. But for now, it works. It's very much usable. You can get results from these. I would not recommend them for professional use, of course. Anything that you're planning to do for commission, these will not work. Not only because of the color quality, but also the longevity. I think that's the biggest concern for me. Whether or not the pigments are stable enough for long term. The nose is still too short. I don't know how long I should have done it, but it just looks, to me, it looks too short. I don't know why. Maybe it's not. I should just get a tape and measure it, to be honest. Same with the ears. Ears look so small on the painting. But I get tired of paintings if I paint them too long. That said, I paint paintings that take years to complete. It's just, that's the reason why, is because halfway through I start to hate the painting I'm working on, and I don't like putting details. I just, that stage of work for me is just the most tiring and the most frustrating. I like the planning, I like the composing, I like the starting the base colors, but when it gets to the details, oh, I can't. It's so hard. It's so hard to not give up. But the worst thing for me would be just give up. I don't like unfinished pieces, even though they're sketches. I like to get them to a certain point, make sure that they're up to a certain point. Otherwise, it bothers me a lot. It's alright though. Will I recommend these paints for beginners? Yes. I mean, one of these sets I got in a set with a canvas and everything, and I don't see them being too expensive at all. The thing is, if you're a beginner and you want to start getting into acrylics and you're not sure if you're gonna like them, just buy a cheapest set you can find and just feel the paint. It's not that, I don't see that to be too much different. Like, these are not even that different from oils. Like, oils are thicker, but once you mix an oil with a medium, it's pretty much that. Obviously, all of the issues with pigments, that does not really matter when you're just trying things out, when you're just see if you like it or not. But if you tend to use acrylics more often, do paintings and such, I do recommend to use at least student grade. Otherwise, there's gonna be problems, and frustrating problems that will also slow you down. I'm not planning to sell the sketchbooks. It's fine for me. And all the other paintings that I do with oils. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you're having the very best day. Bye bye!